Hello everybody and welcome back to another flight simulator video. Today we are here in Cebu in the Philippines, where I will probably be doing a lot of operations from here with both the Fenix A320, the InnyBuilds A320neo and also the ATR from Cebu. So we're here now at the domestic terminal here at Manila at Mactan International Airport, and we have this rather unique looking Cebu Pacific plane, and I found these very interesting. There was I think 4 of them in total, maybe 5, possibly more, on wet leases from various companies, this one being one of them, and it had this very interesting Euro white livery. So this is Romeo Papa Charlie 4161 4160, and this is one of them. And I love the fact that it's a sort of hybrid livery between the main Cebu Pacific livery and the livery of the Euro white. There's a plane landing over there, I think. I can't see it though. There is a plane landing. Runway 04. I thought there was 22 departures, but apparently not. Anyway, what I love about this livery is this side of the aircraft, which says, "Let's fly every Juan." Now that is Cebu Pacific's slogan at the moment, which I absolutely love. And it's got the standard tail here. It just doesn't have the yellow belly that the other aircraft on the standard livery have. Anyway, we're going to jump into the cockpit now and start setting up for our flight. Today's flight, we'll be flying Cebu Pacific flight 146? Let me just double check that I got the flight number right. 164. I got the right numbers, wrong order. Anyway, so we are Cebu Pacific flight 164 from Cebu to Iloilo, as you can see here. I've put the sim brief flight plan. Anyway, so I need to change this. Hang on a second. I need to change this because at the moment we are 2302 Zulu, because I adjusted the time. So what I'm going to do is change that time down to 23:25. There you go. Perfect. Anyway, so now that we've done that, what I'm also going to do is board the aircraft. What I like about the sim brief integration with Fenix is that everything comes on here. So I can just click load aircraft, and I use GSX, so GSX is going to go. Now I'm going to open the door actually here, and you'll see, oh, look at that. Look at this is the Cebu Pacific seating as well, with the blue here and the green headrests with the little blue J on the top. Oh, the jet bridge is inside the aircraft. Anyway, we're going to set up the aircraft now that we've loaded that up. Now we're going to check our flight plan in the MCDMU. Well, first we'll do the init page. We'll request for our flight plan. It should automatically cover all of these bits and pieces. There we go. So our alternative airport will be Manila, which is Romeo Papa Lima Lima. Our flight number today is CEB 164. Cost index for this flight will be,
ladies and gentlemen,
probably, I don't know what they would normally fly. We'll do 60 today. And I'll just double check the flight plan for our cruise altitude, which will be today 14,000, so we're not very high. It's quite a short flight actually. Flight time approximately 28 minutes. Now I won't do the fueling and weights until the flight is boarded. Let's just check the winds. We'll request winds as well. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn that down a bit because it's a bit, can be a bit loud. Let me just double check, see if the passengers are boarding. Lovely. And the uniform. Well, GSX had a update recently where in the Fenix aircraft you can see passengers going. For some reason, for me, passengers don't sit down. I don't know if that's to do with my settings because I've got it on sort of medium settings graphically, but they do go and crouch and sit, but they disappear. Flight attendant here. Uniform's not too bad actually. I mean, they got custom uniforms for some airlines, and Cebu Pacific, of course, isn't one of them. It's not. I mean, it's close enough, I guess. I mean, yeah, blue and yellow is the correct color scheme for the flight attendants. Anyway, we'll check the ATIS for the weather.
Airport information, Echo 2300 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 6 and heavy rain. Sky condition 1,700 feet. Scattered few clouds at 4,800 feet. Few clouds at 18,900 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 10. QNH 29.85. Visual runway 22 right and visual runway 22 in use. Landing and departing runway 22 right and runway 22. DFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back, hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have echo. MiG 10 airport information. Foxtrot.
I'm just going to switch it to the ground frequency. So we've got a 22 departure now. It's a very short flight plan, but that's fine. Departure is expected to be 22. And I better check the departure. And we have the Molo for Romeo departure, which is that one. Click insert. And then our arrival will be on the Cardits 1, expected on 02. Yeah, we're expected 02 on our arrival into Iloilo. So let's set up for our arrival. ILS, no, VOR. We'll do the RNAV for 02 with a start of Charlie Delta Zulu 1. There it is. And we'll insert. And we got our flight plan now. Pretty straightforward flight. Not many waypoints on today's flight, but it looks like we'll be going over. Okay, that's an interesting routing today. It looks like we'll be so we're departing 22, which is a sort of southerly departure. We'll be turning right over Cebu Island, slightly up to the north, and then across at Cardits. So we'll be bypassing Bacolod, which you've probably seen my video for that already, and then over to turn into Iloilo.
MiG 10 ground airfield 2239er request taxi to the gate. Airfield 2239er taxi to gate Bravo.
So what I'm going to do actually, so that this flight plan, I'm going to get rid of this 100 here because that's directly over the airport. If I get rid of that, it should bring the flight plan. And if I get rid of the discontinuity, that should. Let's insert that. Yeah, there you go. That's much better for me. Because that means we go straight and then turn into the runway.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, perfect. So we'll do some weight calculations. We're still waiting on the fuel truck, even though if I go to my sim settings, I am pretty sure boarding and fuel. Ah, that's why. Should be fueling before boarding in reality. Anyway, we'll just do some calculations for takeoff so we can have our. That's the landing one. I'm getting used to this really. Runway 22. Force toga no, packs off, anti-ice off. Our estimated takeoff weight, let's have a look. Estimated takeoff weight will be 64 tons. And okay, so that figure, I'm trying to look here, 28, probably be about 32 then, isn't it? Because we're still waiting on fuel, and I'll readjust it anyway, just before we push back. So 142, 142, 144, that's fine. Ah, it's starting to rain, so we better adjust these figures a bit. Go wet runway, calculate. Perfect. That will be good. Now it's starting to rain. So we'll wait for the fuel truck as well. I don't know why it takes so long on the boarding process, but I'm gonna need to, of course, set up you know, change that setting there, because it's, I don't know why, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So I'm still getting used to the Fenix, but I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm doing this flight. I might do a Cataclan flight soon as well, because Cataclan is a short runway. Planning to do that from Manila, because I have I think it's called Cloud Surf Manila scenery, which is good. Performance wise, a bit iffy sometimes, especially when I've got traffic running, but it should be a good blast if I do a Cataclan, Manila Cataclan, either with PAL Express or Cebu Pacific. And I could do it with Cebu Pacific in the INI builds 320 Neo, pardon me, because there's no 321s landing in Cataclan because it's quite a short runway. Or even one of these A320 COs, and of course PAL Express with the CO as well. Now, since I was last at this airport on Flight Simulator, there has been an update to the airport. And again, if you remember from my last video, this is a freeware, so it's absolutely free to download this airport. Now, the airport now doesn't have the construction for the new runway, and everything else is the same. Of course, actually today we're looking good when it comes to parking positions. Maybe apart from that PAL Express -8 over there, but sometimes you get odd parking positions. The other thing I like as well, if you look close enough over there, there's the Korean airplane, the one that skidded off the runway, when was that, 2021 I think, just sitting over there at the airport. Anyway, I think I just saw the fuel truck just arrived, so we'll come around, we'll go have a look at the fuel truck. Shouldn't be here long because we got 3 tons in the tanks and we need 5.1 for our flight today. Once he's finished, we'll set up the fuel tanks, the fuel pumps, and then we'll run the APU. For now, we're on the GPU, as you can see, plugged in at the front there. It looks like the fueling guys are getting ready to fuel up. This is one of the things I really do love about GSX. They're just the details, you know, these little details here. And then he's going to plug it in. Shame that there isn't a panel there that opens for this process, but, you know, it's there anyway. What I like as well about this truck, if I come around to this side, it should have in US gallons the count. Yeah, there you go. It's counting the fuel weight there. So we're just going to wait for our refuelers to finish. We'll set up the GPU, the APU. Turn off the GPU. We can get rid of this thing. And then we will push back and taxi to runway 22 as per instructed by the ATIS, even though, according to that windsock over there, we should really be taking off from runway 04. There's a plane somewhere. Yeah, there it is, look. So, another Cebu Pacific 320. It looks like a 21 actually. Yeah, it's a 21. Is it a Neo? It looks like a Neo. With the big engines. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Honestly, having this traffic is amazing, and it's completely free from the fly-by-wire installer. And it runs great. It doesn't affect performance too heavily either, which is the obviously the main thing. So our landing in Iloilo will be also by a... It's not a default airport. It is like Mactan Airport here. It's a freeware airport. So, you know, we're gonna really... I really enjoy these sort of freeware airports that are available in the Philippines. I think the Filipino community behind Microsoft Flight Simulator is amazing, and much better than former flight simulators where there was very few airfields. But then we've also got the advantage of Bing map data, so it gives us much more, I guess, realistic. It's obviously not 100% realistic, but much more realistic terrain and everything. What's this? Flight control failure, left side stick fault, collaborate, null zones. I think we're okay actually. We'll just clear that message. And it looks like our fuelers should be just about finishing now. What's this? Left stick, cat 2, inoperative systems. Okay. I think we're finished refueling. That's it, refueling's finished. So I'm going to run the fuel pumps now, and I'm going to run the APU so we can get ready for a pushback. We can put the seatbelt signs on, and perfect. We'll close the door now, and we'll lock it. It's a shame that you don't get the clunk from the lock, but we'll just let the APU run out, and then we'll let GSX know that we are ready for our pushback. Flight time today is approximately 32 minutes according to our flight plan, and weather a bit sketchy at the moment, but we should be okay. Anyway, we'll redo our calculations again. We'll just double check our weights and we'll fill in the gaps. So 29.5, so it's off by 3. 29.5. Recalculate, pretty much the same, and then we'll send that to the MCDMU. We will also go back to this one, send info to the MCDMU as well, and then we should have all of our weights. Start the APU. Let's check the init page 2. Yeah, block 5.5. We've got reserves 5%, alternative time 2.2, taxi is expected with 0.2. We got 2.2 alternatives, so that gives us an hour flight time, which is good because that will take us to Manila no problem. Lovely. And then flight plan, I'll open flight plan. APU is coming up now. Once we got the generator running, we'll just let GSX dispatcher know. Yep, we're available, so we'll prepare for pushback now. And we'll run the APU bleed, turn off the external power, and we'll turn on the beacon light. And that will let all the ground crew know that we are ready for pushback as well. So we'll let GSX do its thing. I don't think we'll get to hear GSX again. For some reason, when I'm recording videos, the GSX, yeah, it doesn't want to be audible. So we won't be hearing the flight dispatcher today. But that's not a problem. It looks like the rain is getting heavier, so it's a good thing we're getting out of Cebu. So you might be thinking, why did I not have the dome light on or the storm light? Well, I kind of like it like this. I like it with the back lights here instead of using the lights like these ones here. But that's just how I like it. Anyway, during flight, we should have an opportunity to have a look at the cabin in more detail. We have a pretty full load today, 156 passengers. Now, interestingly, this flight, it operates, looks like weekdays only between Mactan and Iloilo. The flight is operated by, most days, it seems to be an A320 Neo now, from here. And it's only operated Monday to Friday in the morning at around 8 o'clock. In the morning. That's why I've got the clock set here. You can see 23:20. Anyway, I'm gonna push back. Oh crap. How do I change? Okay, we're just gonna push back to the right. That's fine. We'll release push. I wasn't paying attention and I hit right. I was supposed to hit left. So we've now released our parking brakes. And hopefully we should start pushing back. And there you go. I can feel the push now. And then we'll start engines. We'll go sequence from 2 to 1.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross check.
Okay, engine 2 start, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions. Procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft.
Okay, engine 2 has started very quickly today. So we'll let the pushback stop and then we'll start engine 1, and then we've got a pretty short taxi today. Hopefully, I'm wondering if they'll push us a bit further back and then I could make the turn to this taxiway a lot easier then, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna have to sort of make a really tight turn here so I can go over to runway 22. The rain seems to be getting a lot heavier as well. Okay, parking brake set. We'll confirm good engine start and then we'll start engine 1. Confirm good engine start. Let's start engine 1. Engine 1 is starting now. I don't know if you can hear the rumble of the engine as it starts up, but I love that. It's a sound that's quite synonymous with the CFM engines, especially on the A320. I love the sound of the power inverters as well when they switch. It's like a clunk. It's like a proper mechanical sound, which is kind of weird in an aircraft that I guess although there is mechanics to the aircraft, it's a mostly computerized system on the 320. It's hard to believe the 320 now is coming up to 40 years old and it's still flying, and they're still flying beautifully as well. And obviously with software in computers you can easily update them, and you know, it gives longevity, and if mechanically they're looked after, you know, they'll last forever basically, a bit like a car. So we'll now ask the air traffic control for our taxi clearance. We'll taxi with a departure to the west. Okay, I just saw the wave from the dispatcher, so we'll request for
Cebu 4084 request taxi for departure to the west.
Put that to normal. We'll turn off the APU bleed, turn off the APU. We'll turn our taxi lights on. 04.
J6454 with Foxtrot ready to taxi IFR. Blue J6454 taxi to and hold short of runway 04 via taxiway Lima cross runway 04 Juliet cross runway 04 left Juliet Bravo Kilo. Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
Okay, I'm just quickly changing everything. We're gonna redo our takeoff and everything, recalculate. Still the same, but we'll send it back again. There we go. So we got a longer taxi this time, but we'll release the brakes. Performance down 0.2. So we'll do flight controls check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder left, rudder right, neutral, flaps set to 1, trim set down 0.2, 0.2 set, the spoilers, max auto brakes, and we'll test the takeoff configuration, no blue. We'll turn on the predictive wind shear as well, and that gets rid of any yellow on there. We'll put that back to standard, and we'll start our taxi now to 04. I guess the winds have shifted again. We'll just double check the METAR. Yeah, winds have shifted coming from the north, so that makes sense. Here we go. So our taxi to runway 04 means we're going to pass both the main terminals here in Mactan. We'll pass the main terminal, so we're passing the domestic terminal now, which is in the old building, which I absolutely love. When I was there last year, the refurbishment work that they've done on the domestic terminal is amazing, and they've got a nice little sort of open walkway slash shopping. I say shopping, there's a few shops and restaurants down there, which is fantastic. And of course the new international terminal over here, which again, incredible. I love the new terminals. Flying through both of them last year, the memories are fresh, and possibly I might come to Cebu again in the near future as well. Even my current wallpaper on my phone was taken from Mactan, from this airport over here on the international terminal, as I was flying Scoot from here in Cebu to Singapore, and then linking up via code sharing agreements to London on the Singapore Airlines. So as I said earlier, this airport is the same scenery, but it's been updated. The update includes no construction equipment now on the new runway 04 left slash 22 right runway, but the runway, according to info, it's open on here on the flight sim, but in reality they're not really, it's never really open. I mean, it's too, you can see here, this is too close to the runway for it to be feasible to have an operational airport and to have planes landing and taking off here, because there isn't enough clearance between the wings of the aircraft. Anyway, there's the international terminal, just passing that there. Interestingly, Clark Airport in Luzon has a very similar design, the new Clark terminal. And then this is the military base, which the last time I was here there was A-10 Warthogs actually parked over here. Of course not Philippine Air Force, because they don't have A-10s. Of course it would be the US Air Force. I mean, the US Air Force is here a lot. When I used to go visit my brother, who lived before very close to the airport, actually underneath the approaches into runway 04, we used to see lots of planes coming over. Often, you know, occasionally there'll be military aircraft, including US, Philippine Air Force, sometimes Australian Air Force, sometimes other air forces. There's a pushback tug, it looks like, in the middle of the taxiway here. There's a plane on landing as well. There's for some reason a PAL Express over there on the that's what I call the general aviation area. One of our colleagues at Cebu Pacific just landed. Very good. I'm not running the wipers for some reason. Should I run the wipers? Should we see what it does? Ooh, it smudges the windscreen and it makes a lot of noise. We've lost like a lot of our visibility as well. We'll switch over to tower now because that's the last taxiway across, so we'll be okay. Now this is really good as well, like compared to former flight simulators, or at least Flight Sim X. It's my only experience really. To see these buildings here really close by, you can see the perimeter fence as well. This is realistic to the real Cebu airport when you're taxiing down to 04, especially if you're sitting on the right side. You'll definitely see these buildings here and that perimeter fence. Now you can see that Korean Air A320, the one that skidded off the runway and damaged one of the ILS antennas, just sitting over there. Now weather's sort of in that range as well from when the Korean plane overran, but we should be okay today. It's not quite hurricane-like, but you know, or I guess typhoon in this part of the world. Anyway, we'll approach the end of the taxiway and we'll request for our takeoff departure to the west, because I'm flying on VFR rules with this one. I'm just turning on all the lights because I'm expecting to be taking off straight away as soon as I make my request. Just turn on the TCAS as well. Oh, we're turning. Why are we turning? It's because I'm not paying attention. That's why it helps to actually have two pilots in the cockpit, because it's so difficult.
Cebu 4084 ready at runway 04 west departure.
Cebu 4084,
Clear for takeoff, here we go.
022 at 4. Departure to the west approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 04.
Cleared for takeoff.
So nobody's on the runway.
Cebu 4084.
Our first officer will pretend he's confirmed nobody's on final as well. And the rain is getting very heavy now. So we'll just turn the aircraft. Let's get rid of that window. And we'll do the standard A320 departure. Confirm 04. We'll spool up the engines to 50%. We'll get the clocks running as well. Whoops, I just turn the chrono on. Release the brakes. And into the flex. There we go. Man, flex, SRS, and nav. Why do we not have runway on there? That's okay. 80 knots we passed already. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gears coming up. Try to hand fly for a bit, following the FD.
Continue for west departure. Cebu 4084, leading my airspace frequency change approved.
McTan Tower Cebu 4084 frequency change.
1,000 feet. I'm going to do AP on because it's just easier for management. Get climb thrust on at 1,500. 1,500. Climb thrust is set. Can take the arm spoilers off. Visibility is very low. Look, you can just about make out Cebu Island over here. And we'll get those lights on the wheels off. Cabin crew is going to stay seated for a little while because we'll be hitting turbulence on the way up. Left turn. When we approach that S, we'll go flaps up and clean config. Now you can just about make out Cebu Island here. We're on the northern side of the island now. We've reached that S marker. Flaps are going up. Flap 0 confirmed, and then the speed should accelerate up to 250, which is our speed restriction under 10,000 feet. Now we're flying through the clouds. Hopefully we'll break through soon. It's not looking too bad. It's a very poor visibility day today and lots of rain. Ah, beautiful. We found some thinner clouds over here. And we're just about making out the island of Cebu here, and it's the mountains in the northern part of the island. Now we'll be getting up to cruise very quickly because I've got a cost index of 80, which means we're not really flying extremely efficiently today, but you know, it is what it is. Top of descent will come after Riva, and then we'll make a 02 arrival into Iloilo. Now I'm not going to use ATC until we are on our arrival, but we'll probably hit up the ATC when we're around the Carditz waypoint, possibly after Moloch as well. Now visibility is absolutely horrendous today. Look at this. Very hazy and very thick, and as you saw when we were on the ground, a lot of rain. We don't have any META or ATIS information for Iloilo, so it's almost guesswork at the moment where we're going to be landing for what runway and what the wind conditions are going to be like. But it's okay. We're approaching 10,000 feet. We'll get those lights stowed. I wonder if we're going to break through the clouds. We're not bumpy or anything, so I'll turn off the seatbelt sign because it's a very short flight. It'll allow the passengers to get up and walk around. And talking of getting up and walking around, that's probably what I'm going to do just about now. So you can have a look at the cabin, because I don't think I featured the cabin, or if I did, it was very quick on the last video because we were on a very, very short flight. So I'll tell my first officer, I'm going to the loo. Well, that's what we'd say in the UK. Here it will probably be, I'm going to the CR, or the comfort room. There we go. Look at the clouds are breaking out now. You can see the island of Negros over here, which will be just hitting the top of Negros on this flight today. We've gone through our transition, so we'll pull the pull our altimeters to standard. Now we're going to turn around this way. Now I've got to position myself very well because it's quite difficult. There we go. Look at that. I got out, and look at this cabin and the sound as well. The way the sound changes, you've got a lot of wind noises coming from the cockpit. Here's the forward galley. As you can see, you've got the ovens here, trolleys, doors, standard doors. And look at this, Cebu Pacific, let's fly everyone. I love that, like, sort of note. Did you hear that as well? Bing? Was that from the... Oh my, what have we got here? I just need to come back into the cockpit rather briefly because we got a master caution. Master caution says left side stick fault, calibrate null zones. I think we're okay. We'll just clear that message. There's nothing too serious, and we'll clear the message again. No messages. It might come up again for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point. Anyway, look at this cabin. Now, I was recently in Cebu, flying with Cebu Pacific on their A320, so for me, this is feeling fresh. Again, that was from last year. Now, this is nice, isn't it? Like, brilliant cabin. I'll just dip down a bit. I absolutely love Fenix, what they've done here, and this is pretty cool as well. Like, this is Cebu Pacific's, you know, safety card in the seat back pockets, and I believe actually, yeah, these are the correct seats as well for Cebu Pacific at the moment. They've got these Recaro seats. Now, amazingly, these signs actually work. The seatbelt sign is off, which you saw me turn it off. It's off. Now I might be able to flick it from here, and I can show you. Oh, I don't know if I can do it from here actually. Nah, I'm not gonna risk it because I might flick something else. Anyway, you know, it's brilliant what Fenix has done here. Now I'm stuck. There we go. Am I stuck? I seem to be stuck. Help. There we go, I'm out. Yeah, so Fenix has done a fantastic job detailing this aircraft and the cabin. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with the A320. It's such a common aircraft these days, and the cabin is very similar, including with the new Neos. Now, the only difference is some aircraft now have larger overhead bins, which I have seen with Scoot Airlines. And yeah, they really are bigger bins for, you know, more hand luggage orientated. Now, this cabin is not the Airbus Flex cabin, as you can see here. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, Airbus Flex cabin doesn't have these toilets here. Now, instead, these toilets, one on the left, one on the right, are actually fitted over here. So the galley space here is sort of halved. You've got a foldable seat which goes in front of one of the doors, and then you've got one door here and one door here. Now, I've tried the toilets in a Airbus Flex cabin, and me being quite a bulkier bloke, I have quite wide shoulders, it was extremely uncomfortable. And if I sat down, my shoulders were touching the sides. So that gives you an idea about the size. But what the Cabin Flex cabin from Airbus has done for the 320 is I mean, I guess it's good for the low-cost carriers, where they can fit an extra 2 rows of seats. So that's an extra, what's that, 12 seats that you can fit to the A320. Anyway, we're going to come back into the cockpit, and we're going to start preparing for our arrival into Iloilo, because we shouldn't be too far off now. Yeah, we're sort of at the top of Negros at the moment. I'll just close the door as well and get the door closed, and we'll make our way back to our seat in the cockpit. And our top of descent is actually quite a distance, but that gives us time to prepare. Now, I'm going to see if I can actually get in contact through here. Further away. Well, we've got Rojas on. Ah, there it is. Iloilo International Airport. We'll contact the tower. We'll request for a full stop landing.
408-460 miles east, 14,000 feet to land.
Cebu 4084 Tower. QNH 29.82, wind calm, enter left traffic runway 02.
So there we go. We don't have to change anything.
Runway 02, Cebu 4084.
Hang on. So sorry. So we don't have to change anything. QNH is 29.82. Wind is calm, so there's no issues with the wind. We can do a 02 arrival, which we've already got set. We just need to do our performance checks. So 02. Now, I would assume it's probably good. Now, we don't have any info for that. Landing weight Should we check estimated landing weight? Will be 62.6. 62.6 tons. We will do a medium brake and we'll do max reverse, full flaps, manual landing, auto thrust. Now, because I can't do the meta, we can't check landing weight, but what we can do is set up on the performance page, and the QNH, we said 1982 29082. Just doing a bit quick Google. Inches to hectopascal. Can't remember the calculation, but we are on 1009. 1009. Wind is calm. Okay. The barrier for landing, we're just gonna do 400. Now I'll check GSX, see if I can pre-select our. See if we can pre-select for the gate as well, so we can just get straight in. No, we don't want Bacolod. Don't know why you've given me Bacolod. It's because we're right near it, aren't we? Anyway, let's close that then for now. Bacolod Airport, actually, it should just be over here. That tall mountain there, that's actually a volcano. That's Mount Canla on it. It erupted not too long ago. Caused a bit of delays for flights in Bacolod, but luckily not too many. Not too many cancellations either. Now, I believe, let me just bring... Ah, there we go. I can see Bacolod Airport there. Bacolod Silay Airport. Just to our left side. The old airport is in the city there. Now we're approaching our top of descent, so we'll pre-select down to 5,000 feet. I'm going to do descent now. There we go. And you can hear the engines rolling back again. I don't know if you can make out that sort of, you know, roll back even when the engines were coming up. We've been in the air now 14 minutes, and you can see actually the Bacolod VOR on here, which is actually just around the airport. So there's Bacolod Airport. Bacolod City's over there. We're gonna go in between. I forgot the name of the Pasay, I think it. No, I can't remember the name of the island. But Iloilo is just over there. This is the island of Guimaras here, famous for its mangoes, which we'll be flying over, and then we'll do a 180-degree turn into runway 02. 02 is facing north, and we'll be sort of flying south, almost parallel to the runway, and then we'll be making a 180 turn in there. So descending nicely now. Got some clouds around, a bit hazy, but it's not too bad for visibility. Better than it was in Cebu, that's for sure. Doesn't look like there's much rain either, but you know, it is what it is. We're doing a medium auto brake landing as well. Now I don't know if I'll be able to land and then taxi straight off. I'm not too sure where we are in terms of our landing distance with the weight that we are currently carrying. We're approaching 10,000 feet. We're now can adjust our altimeters. 2982, which is the one that the tower controller gave us. And we'll be landing in just a few minutes actually, and we're 16 minutes into our flight time. Now we'll bring our altitude down to around 3,000 feet. That should get us nicely on the line up to runway 02. Now we've got our go around procedure as well. And then we're going to fly directly over the city of Iloilo here, and we might, I say we might see the old airport. You probably can't make it out anymore because where the old airport is in the center of the city, it's now part of a new development, which I've also been to, but that was like 5 years ago. So yeah, there's something interesting about the Philippines. You got a lot of cities had their airports very centrally located, and you know, due to proximity, danger. I mean, Bacolod had overrun incident with actually an A320, believe it or not. One time, I think Iloilo might have had maybe an overrun incident as well. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but you know, I'm sure somebody will tell me. 10,000 feet. Let's turn the landing lights on, and the speed has dropped very nicely. We're a little bit fast for this altitude, so let me just... this always happens to me. Can never grab the speed brake lever. It's okay. We're a little high now for... But this is Iloilo here. You can see. I don't know if... say if you can make out where the original airport was, but it might be... No, don't think it is that one. Anyway, it's there, and somebody has also recreated the old airport, and the old airport at Bacolod, actually, believe it or not. So now we're going to descend a bit more because we're a little bit high on our flight plan here, so we'll just do that. We'll get the seatbelt signs on. In fact, I think that's the old airport there. Look, it looks like an airport or a runway, doesn't it? Now I want to get the speed brake out, but you're not letting me bring the speed brake out. It doesn't want me to. It just wants me to arm it for some reason. Now I had the same issue last time as well. I know we're speeding. I really need to get that speed brake out because we are going very fast.
You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, magazines that you do not want to keep. The toilets are no longer in service. Thank you.
Why won't you let me pull the speed brake? Come on. I think we're going to have to use heading mode. Let's use heading mode for a minute. I'm going to do some maneuvers just to let the airspeed drop a bit. And then we'll activate decel as well for approach. We're not losing enough speed here. I don't know why I can't get the speed brake out. This happens sometimes with the Fenix. Just for some reason it just only wants me to arm it. When I try to drag it, it just wants to, you can see it just wants to arm it instead. So we'll try to lose some speed this way. Let's level off and just let the aircraft lose speed. 4,500, and then we'll just loop around so we can get this speed drained off, because once I get the flaps in, then I can easily like get the speed down. Let's get down to 220. Let's start descending again. Go flaps 1 because we're below speed. We got that side stick error again for some reason. Let's make our turn again. See if we can lose some more altitude. Go down to 2. Bring the aircraft around. I think we should be okay now, like with speed.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Arm the approach mode. One of the things I like about the RNAV approach is that, like, you don't need ILS equipment. It's all, I believe it's done by GPS. So it means for smaller airports, and you know, they don't have to invest a lot of money into the equipment for ILS, for example. We're going to turn one more time, and that should give us a nice angle for capturing. We'll do gate 4 today, and we'll do that one. I can see the runway there, is it? No, that's just a scratch. Oh, there's the runway. We overshot the runway. How have we done that? And now we're also below, but we got a better speed. Now this approach is absolutely shocking. Like, it's shocking on my behalf. And I do apologize. Luckily, the passengers, they probably haven't noticed too much. So, you know, they'll probably let me off. 2,000 feet now. The airport runway's over here, so we overshot it by quite a bit actually. I've armed the approach mode, so it should, in theory, turn us quite nicely onto the runway. We'll put these lights on. Cabin, we already know that it's ready. Seatbelt sign is on. It's nice here. It's like big, massive open plains where the airport is. It's one of the things I love about the Philippines. It's just a varied, you know, the islands vary in scenery and topography. Languages obviously differ in a lot of places. Okay, approach nav has been activated. We're turning to line up with the runway. Medium auto brakes, arm spoilers. Once we get the altitude bug in, there we are. Flaps are, we can dump the flats and we can do the landing gear as well. There we go. Disabled the autopilot. I'm going to fly manually now. Auto thrust is still engaged though, so the autopilot will still manage the throttles. You can see the pappies, so we're good for altitude. I don't know why the L dev or the V dev hasn't come up properly. The indicator for our altitude hasn't come up properly, but that's okay. We got really calm winds actually, only 2 knots. Right down the airframe, so rather beautifully. We'll have a nice touchdown. And like I said, I can see the pappies there, 2 whites and 2 reds. We just have to maintain that. Don't have to do a lot of rudder inputs today. There's not a lot of wind, so This is quite nice. It should, in theory, be a good landing, but I'm not the best at flaring. So we just maintain our altitude. I'm going to turn off the FD because I don't need the FD anymore. We've got a good altitude here. Checked. Airport's in sight. We're falling a little bit low. We'll just bring the nose up slightly. Let the aircraft glide a little bit further. And then we are gate 4 on the arrival. So I'm going to aim, there's a taxiway just up there. I'm going to try to aim for that, for the landing, for the turn-off. So hopefully medium brakes will be good enough as long as we get touchdown in a reasonable distance. Then we don't have to do a backtrack on the runway. Time of flight, 27 minutes, so we're not too bad. Maintaining speed quite nicely. Maintaining the center line perfectly as well, but then there's no wind really.
400 above. 300. Minimum.
Continue.
200.
Just bring the nose down. There we go, look at that. 02, confirm.
100.
Windsock is just dead there.
50. 40.
And we'll pull. There we go. Full reverse. Reverse green. 100 knots, reverses are coming out, auto brakes coming off, manual braking now. Very good. And braking, 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 and just perfectly timed that. Oh, a little bit too fast for the turn, but that's okay. Bring the flaps up. Just recover that like that. Very good.
Going to 123.4 Cebu 4084.
Turn off the TCAS and turn off the. We won't call for taxi clearances or anything, and then we'll get the APU running. I think the spoilers are still out, so let's get down there for a second. Get that down. There we go. Oh, look at that. Very nice airport. And then, so that was about 27 minutes flight time, so not too bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving
We'll just
their
stop the
seats to
clocks.
perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care opening the overhead lockers as items may have moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until
Where's gate
you
number
reach a
4?
designated smoking area. On
It's
behalf
this
of the
one, I can
captain and
see
the crew, it has
already.
been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
It's a nice airport, isn't it? First time flying here with this scenery, actually. It's a very nice airport. Welcome to Iloilo, everybody. We're at gate number 4 today. You can just about make out the marshaller there. There we go. Nice, actually. Let's parking brake on, and we'll shut down the engines. Engine 2 and engine 1 off in sequence. There we go. Beacon can come off.
Cabin crew disarm doors.
And then we'll do deboarding. And seatbelt sign can come off as well. Perfect. Lovely. Thank you for flying today with me. It's been a pleasure to bring you along again, especially on this lovely aircraft that we got here. Our Let's Fly Every Juan Romeo Papa Charlie 4160 tail number. And thank you for coming along with me on this flight from Cebu to Iloilo. And I appreciate it because I really want to do more flying in the Philippines, and it's great that sceneries like this exist and that don't cost a bomb, because really Flight Simulator can be very expensive and it's nice to bring free stuff around. Anyway, thank you for joining me once again, and I hope we see each other again soon. Maybe next time I'll do the INI builds A320neo on a Cebu Pacific operation or on another operation somewhere else. Anyway, and I thank you once again for flying with us today, and I hope you join me on another video, whether that's Flight Simulator or another simulator. Thank you and goodbye.